and gentlemen, yesterday I shot a video regarding HDB and leasehold 99 years condo value going down to zero upon their expiry of their leasehold. And that caused a firestorm in the entire 1165 community. And I wish to present to them the two different views, and you will be shocked at the extreme views that it generate. And I'll give you a way out by leading you on to a more important person that will give a balanced view of everything. So let's just watch on, shall we? So yesterday, I shot a video that highlighted an extract from Prime Minister Lawrence Wong Channel News Asia interview, where he answered quite a lot of questions on Singapore housing. And one of the specific question was, when your house near its lease term, the value of your flat will start to fall. How do you address that? So specifically, Prime Minister Lawrence Wong said, at the end of the 99-year lease, whether is it a private condo or whether is it HDB flat, yes, they have to be returned to a state. So I thought this was something very obvious and very categorically clear. So I shot a video on it, knowing that there will be some ambiguity among people, a lot of doubts. Now, he make it official and obvious. And guess what? Two views emerge that are very extreme. So now there's a clash of two views, and when I present to you, you will find unbelievable that this view happens, and some of you may even find it comical. But this is the state of where we are, and that explains why our state of our property market is where it is today. Just to preempt you, I had the privilege of getting Mr. Dragon Tan to come, and we shot a three-part series, very long series, to provide a very balanced, realistic view of things. And the three-part series will eventually lead to how to make $1 million. And that is a very interesting revelation. I didn't say how to make $1 million easily, but he actually gave a formula, how to make $1 million. And I think in Singapore, there must be over 100 people who have already done it. So I thought it's important for me to share it. And I would certainly encourage everybody to hit subscribe so that you don't miss his episodes. And, let's take a look at what are the extreme views that emerge. So obviously, when I put up a video telling everybody your leasehold property, 99 years, especially HDB, value will go down all the way, to zero, a lot of people actually scolded me. He said, isn't it obvious, Mr. Lu? Right? Why are you so dumb? Right? Leasehold 99 means leasehold 99, right? So there's a person who said, dumb video. Is it not obvious 99 years means 99 years? And I said, no, it's not very obvious to a lot of people. Okay, then they should look at how the state handles 60 years after 60 years. Open eyes and open ears. Don't need to bury your head and stand like ostrich, right? And then 99 years is indeed a long time. Blah blah blah. And the money could be better used. Finally, all the time been telling people is finally true. I think the government cannot deny anymore the HDB are selling ridiculous price, and this is a problem that I've been kicking down a can down road. Okay. And then someone said, timely video, many gundus are chasing resale HDB flat paying ridiculous price. Now, I got a lot of this kind of comment, pages of it. I just extract some. What breaking news? Saipan, Mr. Lu is telling me something stupid. Tell us something we don't know. This has happened before. Remember, Lorong 3 Geylang Terrace House, 191 of them has their 60 years lease expire in 2020. All were taken back by SLA, right? So, which fool will believe that leasehold will be extended? Leasehold 99 years up, value zero. Especially educated youngsters should not be delusional that the government will bail you out. Okay? So there is a large group of people who wrote to me and basically say I'm wasting their time, telling them something is obvious. Now, just before you jump and slap me that I waste your time, I would like to tell you that there is a very large group of people who don't believe, even when the Prime Minister come out and say it. So there is a surprisingly large group of disbelievers. Let me show you. So someone said this, you saying that HDB prices will fall is ridiculous, right? I didn't say it will fall tomorrow, but I say eventually it will fall because it's go down to zero. Inflation will cause property to go up over a long term, okay? These statements by Lawrence Wong sounds like fun. short stint to cool market and price will be climbing up again, right? When HDB price fall, the cooling measure remove and prices will go up again, right? So everybody believe prices will continue to go up and up and up. And this one, the government will not let HDB go into 80s upon 99 years. In between, they have to rejuvenate the property through SIRS en bloc and refresh lease renewal. So there's a lot of belief that SIRS will be massively deployed, even though the Prime Minister has already said there'll be very few people will be entitled to SIRS, you know. So Lawrence Wong, so there was a reply uh, that Lawrence Wong said in the view that when the lease expires, the land have to revert back to government. You'll be assuring if he say that when it's at 80 or 90 years, the government will unblock or renew the lease. He didn't say that. Yeah, there's a lot of people who live in this illusion something nice would happen coming 80, 90 years, right? And there are people who tell me I actually say it's a fake news. I quote the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is saying fake news. I don't know. There's something I just don't know how how people are interpreting what Prime Minister is saying. Okay, so someone said this perspective is definitely not shared by condo or HDB owners, not in land scarce Singapore. Good entertainment, however, for the laugh. So people think this is laughing matter. Well, another person said it will not fall. Property price will not fall. It may stagnate for a little while, then will increase again. Land is scarce, labor will be more expensive, population growing, raw material will not be cheap, inflation will not stop. I said, see, I knew there will be the believers like you, right? Uh, then someone said, will not fall even just 1 year lease left, right? So someone said, cock and bull story, told me, cock and bull story. Do you think you have bionic eyes that will see what happened in future? And blah, blah, blah. It's very long. I'll just basically say a summary what he says. He says that a future political party, become the government and he can offer extension of HDB property if owner en bloc wish to pay for extension to who hell knows, right? He can do distinctive upgrade and property can be a second property for his children who inherit it, and blah blah blah. The next government who offer this will get to rule the country. I can guarantee you that. So this person actually believed that, there'll be another government that will come up that will change these rules. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Okay, anything is possible, right? So, the other one, there are more people who say this, right? So, and Mr. Lu, respectfully, and I appreciate people who have a different opinion with me, but respectfully, it's more the demand and supply mechanics. It's true. Obviously, demand will continue to outpace supply. Why would price fall? It's almost 60 years trend, and why should that change? The one day speak of may never come. Okay. So another person wrote in reply to him, I don't understand what you're saying. HDB flat will go to zero for the lease at the end of 99 years. That's precisely what I'm saying. But the obvious is not so obvious. Can you see that? So before you think that Mr. Lu come out with this video to talk the obvious, can you see that the obvious is not very obvious to a lot of people? And someone actually think that I come out this just because I want to protect my share prices. The more money pour into Singapore housing, the less I have for stocks, and this will affect Uncle Lu's portfolio, right? Ladies and gentlemen, you realize that Mr. Lu, he called me Uncle Lu, I respectfully appreciate that. Do you realize that Mr. Lu invests in US stock market? Do you think that the miserable Singapore funds that assumingly goes into property and not go into US market will cause the US market to have a price change? I think I think a lot of you really need to be educated on the size of Singapore in the grand scheme of the whole US market. Whatever I say will not move a needle. We are price takers to the US market. But anyway, let's go back to what he believes in. Housing, unlike stocks, are less liquid and immobile, but their value will not go to zero. Stock prices vanish overnight. Housing is a utility has utility value unlike stocks. You will always need somewhere to stay. Okay, so theoretically that's true. Up to 99 years, you could rent out your flat and rent out also give you value. That is true for rental value, but price of the house, I think that's a different story. You saying price HDB for 4 is ridiculous. So you can see, right? So to be frank, I tried very hard to educate. I tried to reply as much people as possible whatsoever. This is probably the one that I tried the hardest, and this gentleman or lady was very was very extreme in his view. So he actually did a lot of effort. After I heard your blog, I went out to dig the Prime Minister broadcast, but I could not find explicit mention that HDB finishes his 99-year lease, the value go down zero as claimed by you. Could you share the link from Prime Minister or Desmond Lee? Okay, so I quote what Prime Minister said. At the end of the 99-year lease, whether is it a private condo or whether is it HDB flat, yes, they have to be returned to the state. I say that this clear, simple English value will go to zero when the land is returned back to the state. The value of the land is not zero, or the land is not zero in the sense that the government take back the land. To the government, the land has value. But to you who is sitting on the land, your HDB flat will go to zero. Or maybe at that point in time, government may give you some small compensation just to help you a little bit with house moving whatsoever. That depends on the government of the time whatsoever. And then he says this interesting note that you do not have the source to back up your claim that except your personal inference that HDB and 99-year lease is equals to return to state. That part is factual because that's Prime Minister Lawrence Wong said. But return to state means value go to zero. That's your own interpretation, Mr. Lu. Return to state doesn't mean that the value go down zero. So I said, oh, return to state to you doesn't go means it go to zero. I'd love to know what else would it mean, right? So I tried very hard. So what I did was I tried to Google independent articles that say when it return back to at least go down to zero, what does it mean to the value? So I quote three examples. I only paste up two. So I Google, and this come from SingSaver. Simply put, the house reverts back to original owner, and once the lease expire, whether is it HDB, SLA, or owners, your home will practically be worth zero, and you will no longer be given the right to continue staying in an apartment. Another one from Asia One. Asia One is Singapore Press Holding. For these older flats, you can expect a big drop in value towards the end of the lease. It's unlikely the value of HDB flat will continue after 50 years and from 65 years onwards. So this Asia One actually came an article that says 65 years is a benchmark. They will sharply drop towards zero. And then I ran out of energy already. Or otherwise, I need to take more ginseng. Okay. I think I've done enough to educate you, Lin. I think it's an emotional topic and many people cannot accept it. I will leave it as it is, no more effort, no more energy. My objective is to ensure people don't live in the myth that property prices will continue to go up non-stop and make the wrong investment decision. Okay. And then he continued and said, you quoted Prime Minister and Minister MND. He wanted me to quote them directly. And so on, right? And then later he wrote that he will write to them or write to the government personally to seek out. Okay, I stop here. I cannot really beside. It's just too difficult. I tried too hard. So can you see how emotional this topic is to many people? Yeah. So the whole purpose of me telling everybody this not so obvious truth, right, is what this person wrote. 99 years is indeed a long time, but to pay millions for a 99-year lease that goes down to zero is a bit stupid, especially if the property is for homestay and not flipping. The money can be better used for luxury retirement. And finally, all the time in telling people is finally true. I think the government cannot deny anymore the HDB is selling at a ridiculous price. And I think the government has warned people again, don't assume property prices, will go up forever. And this is a problem that's been kicking down the can down the road. So this one is whole purpose. I do not want people to have this misconception, property prices will continue to go up forever. There is no risk to it, and because Singapore land is scarce whatsoever. But there is one big problem. It's a 99-year lease, and Singapore is already 60 years old. Some of our flats are aging, beyond recognition already. So there is this risk. I don't want you to be blind to that risk. That's all, right? Now, so some people very rich and say, it's okay. I calculated every year I pay $1 million, but every year I get to, use the flat. The cost of using a flat is $1,000 a month, better than me going out to lease or flat. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. But a lot of people did live in the disillusion, as you can see. Then I think it's a responsibility of financial educators like me to explain it, to state the truth. And even by stating the hard truth from the Prime Minister, there's still so many disbelievers. So can you see how difficult this topic and emotional this topic is? So, I just want to say this in conclusion that I understand that property has always been an emotional topic with so much of our wealth into property in Singapore. And this is the unfortunate truth that so much wealth is also in property in other markets like China. And something happened to the country, the whole market collapsed, and many people are hurt in their wealth. And I really want to caution everybody, diversify your wealth, diversify your assets, not all in, all into one. As much as possible, make sure you got enough money in your CPF to handle your retirement, some money in your property. I'm not against property investment. I've said many times, I'm against too much money into property and all into property, and some money in stocks, some money in bonds, some money, whatever, right? Just spread it all out. And it's just basic financial wisdom. Okay. So this would be a nice segue. I'm going to start a three-part series, assuming nothing big happened in the stock market. A three-part series from Dragon Tan. He will describe some of these views of him, and his views are surprisingly more practical than very clear-cut litmus of black and white. Invest or don't invest. He give you a very realistic touch on this 99-year lease problem. I thought it was a real incredible wisdom. A three-part series starting soon, so don't miss this episode. Hit subscribe, okay? And it will finally lead to how to make $1 million, and I will keep you in suspense how to do it. It's not going to be easy, but there are hundreds of people in Singapore who have done it, so I want to share with you this opportunity, okay? So remember, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye-bye.